Hello, and welcome to the Understanding Academic Journals course. This course is designed to equip you with a comprehensive understanding of scientific journals and publications. By the end of this course, you will be well prepared to navigate the complex world of scientific publishing and choose scientifically the most suitable journal for publishing your research report. To achieve the main aim of this short course, we are going to learn, first, what a science database is. Second, what major scientific databases are. Third, what an academic journal is. Fourth, learning about different types of academic journals. Next, how to measure journal impact and quality. After that, what predatory blacklisted journals are and how to avoid them. Up next, how to search in a journal or database. Then, the publication journey in journals. Finally, what peer review is. The initial requirement is to understand what a database is. According to ProQuest's 2024 report, a scientific database is a vast collection serving the direct purpose of providing millions of full-text articles from various sources. This resource, which has a very affordable price tag, makes a lot of sense for two-year institutions that want a broad, interdisciplinary foundation in science and engineering. Besides its affordability, another major plus is the presence of many distinguished publications as part of the database. These include, among others, Nature Publishing, Springer, Emerald, and Cambridge University Press. Among many databases available, the databases that stand out for academic research include Academic Search Complete, which is relevant to a variety of subjects. This database provides the research community with journal articles as well as newspapers and other magazines, thus making it very useful in meeting research requirements. Another resource is the Business Source Complete, which fits the needs of business people and researchers. This includes wide ranges of full text and published articles in the fields of marketing, management, accounting, finance, and many others. CINAHL Complete is tailored particularly to the discipline of nursing and other allied health professionals and provides a large number of citations and full-text articles. Its coverage is from as far back as 1937, which makes it useful to perform such historical as well as contemporary research in these fields. The ERIC database should have a brief mention here as an important tool in education-related research or information. It has a huge database of bibliographic and full texts and is useful to education practitioners, researchers, and the general community. Gestor is an online resource that provides access to a wide range of academic journals as well as books. Included are also primary source packages that provide the basic background or context that researchers need. PsycInfo, which was created by the American Psychological Association, is an intricate database that indexes professional literature in behavioral and mental health sciences. PubMed is a resource that contains millions of papers and other scholarly works that relate to the health and biomedical fields. It compiles information from Medline and other reliable sources, thus making it significant for clinical studies. Web of Science is a cross-disciplinary database which has a novel aspect of bibliography mapping and as such enables one to follow the development of a particular research by large amounts of cited references. Scopus is an electronic archive of scientific and technical journals of various populations and is also an abstract and citation database useful to researchers for information on various fields. Communication and Mass Media Complete deals on communication studies and thus specializes in disseminating full-text articles, abstracts, and indexes on selected, most influential journals. It includes media studies, linguistics, rhetoric, and discourse analysis. ABI Inform collection is an excellent source for business and economics. It includes thousands of publications dealing with such issues as corporate strategy, management practices, and competition. As per George 2023, it is true that academic journals are periodicals that are primarily focused on a particular field of study. They function for the purpose of publication of original research by students, researchers, and professionals of the respective areas of academic and scientific research. These journals are published in order to ensure quality, as they make every submitted article go through a thorough peer review process, which upholds the authenticity of the research and the authenticity of the article. In academic journals, the language used is quite different from that which prevails in the popular press, such as magazines or newspapers. As is customary in academic writing, researchers are also expected to conform to certain style and format requirements, which more often than not include an introduction, methodology, results and discussion, an abstract, and references. The academic community holds academic journals in high esteem, for they regularly feature relevant new research that advances knowledge in targeted areas or fields. Such research includes extensive exploration of complicated problems or original approaches to already existing issues. Such academic journals include Nature, the American Sociological Review, and the British Journal of Social Work. George points out that academic journals can either be open access or non-open access. Open access journals are accessible to anyone regardless of whether they hold a subscription or not, while non-open access journals have to charge individuals or even institutions in order for them to access the content. The emergence of open access publishing has markedly changed the way academic information is put out by making it easier for researchers to post, view, and even talk about information. Open access journals that are peer-reviewed can be categorized broadly into three classes. Hybrid journals. These are mainly subscription-based journals, but users can pay extra to access specific articles that they are interested in. When the fee is paid, the article is free for the public, while other accessible articles in the journal are still behind a paywall. Mega journals. This category of journals adopts an all-journal policy no matter their topics from life science, social sciences, and even arts. Even so, submissions have to go through peer review so as to maintain the scientific and technical standards required. Mega journals often have a lower publication charge and a faster turnaround time, which is why it's suitable for researchers that want to reach broad audiences fast. Overlaid journals. Unlike hybrid and mega journals, overlaid journals do not publish original content. Instead, they curate articles from open access repositories, organizing them into specific volumes and issues. This approach ensures that curated content is affordable, high quality, and easily accessible, helping researchers and students locate relevant information across various fields. As Wiley notes, choosing a high-quality and relevant journal can increase the visibility and recognition and overall impact of your research. Understanding the metrics that determine journal quality is therefore a key skill for researchers. Both Wiley and Murdoch University identify metrics that are commonly used in evaluating journals. One such metric introduced is the Journal Impact Factor, JIF, by Claravate's Web of Science. According to Wiley, JIF is calculated by the total number of citations in a journal's articles from the past 2 years divided by the total number of articles published during the same time frame. Ohio State University provides examples that put into perspective how this metric is determined. Another important metric is the Journal Citation Indicator. Scomzor adds it gives one value, which is easy to understand and comparable across disciplines. Although citations are a strong indicator of a journal's influence, the JCI guarantees accuracy by accounting for subject area, publication year, and document type. It thus completes the JIF by giving a well-rounded perspective for journal evaluation. According to Altmetric, the Altmetric badge monitors online activity related to research outputs across platforms like social media, blogs, and public policy sites. It provides a daily updated summary of attention metrics that offer a dynamic snapshot of an article's reach and influence. It considers a metric called the site score, calculated from Scopus data. Hong Kong University explains it is meant to give a precise picture of the impact a journal makes per year by considering the citations over 3 consecutive years concerning the publications within the same period. The SCI Mago Journal Rank is, according to Mondragon University, a free alternative to traditional journal metrics of citations. It ranks journals in quarterlies, which range from Q1, the top 25% of journals, to Q4, using Scopus data. Such ranking takes into consideration the citation impact and also the subject field. Lastly, the H-index, according to Gahn, is a metric that counts not only the productivity of an author or research group, but also the impact created. It is defined as the number of publications that have been cited at least H times. For example, an H-index of 17 means that 17 of the author's papers have been cited at least 17 times each. This metric balances the effect of a highly cited few works against the overall mass of an author's work and hence provides a varied measure of the impact of a scholar. As pointed out by Sage, the Cite badge shows in real time how often a particular article has been cited using the large database that Cite indexes. That database, over 2 billion references, 1.2 billion citation statements, and metadata for over 180 million articles are indexed in their database. Using a deep learning model, Cite then classifies these citations as supporting, contrasting, or simply mentioning the work they reference. The citation counts that appear on this badge update dynamically as new articles are indexed. The category normalized citation impact is a measure of the relative influence of an article or of a researcher within a specific field. It's demonstrating impact. It is calculated by dividing the number of citations received by a document by the average citations received by all documents of the same document type in the same subject area and year of publication. A CNCI of 1.0 reflects average performance compared to peers, while values above 1.0 indicate higher than average influence. What constitutes a good CNCI depends on the discipline. In physics, a CNCI of 1.5 or higher is notable. In medicine, a CNCI of 1.2 is considered strong. In social sciences, a CNCI around 0.8 may be regarded as good. Researchers often use CNCI in combination with metrics such as the H-index and impact factor to assess a journal's impact comprehensively. The FWCI, or Field Weighted Citation Impact, according to Scopus, is the ratio of the number of actual citations received to the expected average for the field. This can be interpreted as follows. 1.0 indicates average performance. Greater than 1.0 means the output is more cited than expected. For example, 1.48 represents 48% more citations. Less than 1.0 shows fewer citations than expected. It is in this regard that Scopus also describes source normalized impact per paper. Developed by Professor Hank Moed of the University of Leiden, SNIP takes into consideration the differences in citation practices among different fields. This provides for fair comparison of journals in different fields. According to Wiley, the submission to acceptance index is the median number of days from the time a manuscript was submitted till it reached final editorial acceptance. In the same vein, Herbert describes the acceptance rate as the proportion of accepted manuscripts relative to total submissions. If, say, 500 manuscripts are sent in within 1 year, and out of these 60 have been accepted, then the journal's acceptance rate is 12%. The higher the standard for a journal, the more selective the journal, hence the lower its acceptance rate. Elmore and Weston define predatory journals, also referred to as fraudulent, deceptive, or pseudo-journals, as those that masquerade as legitimate scholarly publishers while deceiving authors in the publishing process. They identify 14 common attributes of such journals, which include promising peer review but failing to provide it adequately, or using templates for peer review reports, advertising unverifiable or false journal impact factors or citation metrics, offering unrealistic publication timelines, accepting all articles with paid article processing costs, APCs, regardless of quality or relevance, publishing articles with numerous grammatical errors and little to no copy editing, listing fake, unqualified, or unaware individuals as editorial board members, mimicking the names or websites of reputable journals, aggressively soliciting submissions through poorly written emails, providing conflicting location information such as offices in one country and contact details in another, including phishing-style grammatical errors in solicitation emails, hiding information about the acceptance process or APCs until after acceptance, forcing authors to transfer copyright during submission, restricting resubmission elsewhere, publishing articles before authors sign agreements, and refusing removal if the submission is withdrawn, removing content from the web without notice or informing authors. Among these, the major source of identification is Beall's List, which charts and increases awareness in the scientific community about predatory practices. Boolean search is one of the powerful techniques to retrieve relevant information from scientific databases. You can construct complex queries using the Boolean operators like and, or, and not, which can help you narrow down or broaden your search results. Here's how you can use Boolean search effectively in scientific databases. And narrows the search by combining terms. All terms must appear in the results. Or broadens the search to include either of the terms. Any of the terms can be in the results. Not narrows the search to exclude terms. What follows not cannot appear in the results. You can combine these operators to create more complex searches. For example, in the search below, almost all operators are used. The parentheses group terms and controls the order of operations, much like in mathematical expressions. In this case, this syntax will ensure that the search returns articles about cancer and either immunotherapy or chemotherapy, but not mention lung. You can use wildcards and truncation symbols to include word variations. Asterisk represents more than one character. For instance, this syntax will retrieve genetic, genetics, genetically, etc. The question mark represents a single character. For example, this syntax, WOM question mark N, will find woman and women. Most databases, especially Web of Science, PubMed, and Google Scholars, allow you to specify fields to search within, such as title, abstract, author, etc. This search syntax, for example, will find articles with cancer and immunotherapy in the title written by an author named Smith. Finally, here are some tips for searching in databases more effectively. Start simple. Begin with simple searches and gradually add complexity. Check database help guides. Each database might have specific syntax or additional operators. Use filters. Utilize filters for publication date, document type, and more to refine your results. Review results and refine. Based on initial results, refine your search terms and Boolean combinations. Mastering these Boolean searching skills will effectively locate for you the most relevant scientific literature of your research interest. The typical journey a manuscript takes from submission to publication in a journal is usually as follows. It starts with initial submission. The author submits the manuscript to the journal through an online submission system. Next, there is editorial review. The journal editor performs an initial review to check if the manuscript meets the journal's scope and guidelines. If it doesn't, it may be rejected outright or returned for revisions. The most important and time-consuming step is peer review. Firstly, in the reviewer selection phase, the editor sends the manuscript to several experts in the field. During the review process, reviewers provide feedback on the quality, originality, and validity of the research. Finally, there is a decision. Based on the reviewer's comments, the editor decides whether to accept, reject, or request revisions. The next major step is revisions. In this step, if revisions are requested, the author revises the manuscript and resubmits it. This process may go through multiple rounds until the manuscript meets the reviewers and editorial standards. After revision, authors receive final acceptance. Once the manuscript is deemed acceptable, the editor provides the final acceptance. The manuscript returns to the publication house for proofreading and formatting. The manuscript undergoes final proofreading and formatting to ensure it adheres to the journal's style. Eventually, the most awaited step arrives: publication. In this step, the manuscript is assigned to an issue. It is published online and/or in print, making it available to the academic community and the public. A step that is not common and limited to specific fields is post-publication. The article may receive post-publication reviews and citations. Authors may engage with readers and respond to any further questions or comments. Each journal might have slight variations in this process, but these are the general steps a manuscript typically goes through. Let me know if you need more details on any of these steps. Peer review is a process used to evaluate the quality, validity, and significance of scholarly work before it is published. It involves experts in the same field as the work being reviewed, who assesses the research for accuracy, originality, and relevance. The goal is to ensure that only high-quality research is disseminated. Key forms of peer review exist in three major types. Single blind review. The reviewers are aware of the identity of the authors, but the authors do not know who the reviewers are. This might help reviewers give honest feedback with no fear of retaliation, but could introduce bias if the reputation of authors influences reviewers. Double-blind review. Authors and reviewers do not know each other's identities. This tries to eliminate any form of bias or partiality because the reviewers, not knowing who the authors are, cannot be influenced by their names and vice versa. Open review. The identity of authors and reviewers is disclosed to one another. This will provide more transparency and accountability, but this may also result in less frank comments since anonymity is not maintained. Post-publication review. The work gets published first and is subsequently reviewed by the community. Such methods tend to yield a wider range of answers to questions, but at the obvious risk of exposing the lay public to unverified research. Collaborative review. A variant in which reviewers work among their group and the author in order to improve the manuscript. This may be the most constructive and developmental formality when direct communication and iterative refinements are possible. Each type of peer review carries its own strengths and weaknesses, and the method may be dependent on a journal, a field of study, or even the author's and reviewer's preference. Thank you for participating in our course on understanding academic journals. We hope you found the content informative and engaging. We wish you all the best in your academic endeavors and look forward to seeing the great work you'll produce.